I was fired for saving my CEO's company. 6 years later, his widow walked into my cafe and handed me the letter he wrote before he died. The day I got fired, everyone clapped. Not because they were happy, because they were afraid. My name is Ava. At 29, I was the youngest financial analyst at one of the largest manufacturing companies in the country. I loved my job. I worked hard. I believed honesty mattered. That belief cost me everything. One Friday evening, while preparing quarterly reports, I found something strange. Millions of dollars were disappearing. Not stolen. Hidden. Someone inside the company was creating fake vendor payments. At first, I thought it was a software error. Then I followed the transactions. They led directly to the chief financial officer. I immediately reported everything to our CEO, Mr. Harrison. He thanked me personally, told me I had done the right thing. The following Monday, security escorted me out of the building. I was accused of fabricating financial records, violating company policy, damaging the company's reputation. Nobody defended me, not even Mr. Harrison. News spread quickly. In my industry, I became unemployable. I applied to 63 companies, rejected by all of them. Eventually, I used my remaining savings to open a tiny neighborhood cafe. It wasn't the career I dreamed of, but it paid the bills. Slowly, the cafe became popular. People came for the coffee, stayed because I remembered everyone's name. 6 years passed. I had almost forgotten my old life. Then one rainy afternoon, an elegant woman walked into my cafe. She ordered tea, then quietly asked, "Are you Ava Collins?" I nodded. She introduced herself. "My name is Alina Harrison, the widow of my former CEO." My stomach tightened. Why was she here? She reached into her handbag and placed a sealed envelope on the table. "My husband asked me to give you this. If anything ever happened to him." I stared at the handwriting. It was unmistakably his. Mr. Harrison had died 2 months earlier from a heart attack. With shaking hands, I opened the letter. The first sentence hit me like a train. "Ava, I owe you the biggest apology of my life." I kept reading. Apparently 6 years earlier, after I reported the fraud, Mr. Harrison believed me immediately. The problem was, the CFO wasn't acting alone. Half the board of directors was involved. If Mr. Harrison fired them immediately, the company would have collapsed overnight. 20,000 employees would have lost their jobs. Instead, he secretly began working with federal investigators. The investigation took years. To protect it, he allowed everyone to believe I had lied. I was sacrificed. Intentionally. My eyes filled with tears. He knew I was innocent. The entire time. Then came the first twist. Everything I lost. He had secretly been trying to repay. Anonymous donations to my cafe. Him. The investor who quietly bought the building so my rent never increased. Him. The food supplier who always gave me huge discounts. Also him. He couldn't publicly clear my name, but he refused to abandon me completely. Then came the second twist. The investigation had finally ended. Just weeks before his death, 34 executives across 4 companies had been arrested. The fraud network was destroyed. Mr. Harrison planned to publicly apologize. Then he died unexpectedly, before he could. Alina reached into another folder. Inside was a press release. Already signed. Already prepared. It officially cleared my name, and announced something even more unbelievable. Mr. Harrison had left me 49% ownership of the company, not because I deserved money, because he believed I deserved the future that had been stolen from me. I refused, immediately. "I can't take this." Alina smiled. "My husband knew you'd say that." Then she handed me one final page. "Don't accept this for yourself. Accept it for every honest employee who was punished for doing the right thing." A month later, I walked back into the same headquarters where security once escorted me out. This time, as the new chairwoman. Employees stood and applauded, not because they were afraid, because they knew the truth. The first policy I introduced was simple. Any employee reporting corruption would receive complete legal protection. No exceptions, no retaliation. The biggest surprise came a year later. A young accountant nervously knocked on my office door. "I found something suspicious." She looked terrified. I smiled. "You did exactly what you're supposed to do." That moment, I realized the cycle had finally ended. I never got back the 6 years I lost, but I made sure nobody else would lose theirs. Sometimes justice arrives late, very late, but when it finally comes, it changes more than one life. It changes the future. What would you have done if you discovered your boss sacrificed your reputation to save thousands of jobs? Would you have accepted the company or walked away forever? Comment below what you think.